I'm back. Welcome back to Hot Topics Live podcast. I have been on vacation. So this is why you have to set your notifications so that you know when I come live. And also, if you are watching live, don't be shy, drop a comment. I'll put it up on the screen. You'll be part of the show. If you're watching later, drop me a comment anyway. I love getting them and I always respond to them. So let me know what you think of this episode, how it helped you, what you'd like to hear more about, what you'd like to see more on Hot Topics Live podcast, and we'll go from there. So if you don't know me by now, my name is Kia, and this episode is one you're not going to want to miss. I am a coach, but I also have a coach on today, and she's extraordinary, right? We're going to tell you how to find your way, how to see beyond the range of sight. Actually, how to see with your sight, and then also how to see with your sight, if you follow. So my guest today is extraordinary, and she is going to blow you away. She has her own podcast called The Incredible Life Creator, which you can find everywhere and subscribe on YouTube as well. I'll remind you later. And she is a coach. She's a mentor. She's a doctor. She's a lot of things, honey. So you're not going to want to miss this. And also, don't forget, there's something special I do at the end that you're not going to want to miss. So you have to stay to the end to see that. So, shall we begin? Shall we? Let's just dive right into it, shall we? Okay. Let me tell you about Dr. Kimberly Linert. Okay. I'm going to read it because she's quite professional and I don't want to screw anything up, right? She is a creative visionary. She loves people, and it is her intention to help people feel important and loved, just like mine. See why she's a guest on this podcast right now? She is a behavioral optometrist, author, speaker, and broadcast host. Her platform, Incredible Life Creator, inspires people to find their passion and purpose and live it to find happiness. See, we're very aligned. So she helps them find happiness, significance, and fulfillment while reaching their highest potential in life. Dr. Linert's proprietary Incredible Life Creator methodology is used to help individuals, groups, and organizations define and bring to light a deeper, more meaningful purpose that leads to satisfaction and success. For an even deeper dive, Dr. Linert offers exclusive healing and high-performance retreats in beautiful places. Who doesn't love that? And let me tell you, this podcast is all about helping you live your best life possible. And it is a reminder that you are amazing and you are worthy and you deserve it. And Dr. Linert and I believe that. And so without further ado, let's dive right in and bring her on.
Hi.
Hi. I'm so happy to have you back on Hot Topics Live podcast.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. And I just love being on this with you because it's nice to be with other people who are in that same feeling of, ethical, loving, caring people.
Absolutely. Like if you know me in person, and anyone who knows me in person knows that I am one of the most loving people you'll ever meet. My kids tell me in like Mother's Day cards and all of these things that their favorite thing about me is how loving I am. And I am so full of this love that I cannot help but share it, which is why I have this podcast. So I definitely want everyone to feel loved and appreciated and live their best life, because it's hard. And it's easy to get lost out here, and it's getting harder. The world, the way it is, everything that we have to deal with on a daily basis in our personal lives and then globally, what we're facing, we need places where there's positive energy and positive people and reminding you that you can get through this and you will get through this, and this is how. And that's what I hope this episode does for people today. Give them some ways to find their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they will.
I do too. So let's dive into it, because last time you were on the podcast, we were talking about, overcoming when people are shading you, like how to get through the haters. We covered that. We talked about, how when you're trying to create a goal and move in a different way or create change in your life, even the people that love you and that, want the best for you can sometimes be the same people holding you back. And then we talked about how when you are taking those steps and you you are seeing some success, some people can come in and try to tear you down, right?
Yeah.
And that was really amazing too. But along the way, we discussed how you can actually improve your physical eyesight. And now, if you know me, I'm blind as a bat. Okay. And I am always looking for ways to see better. So I recently learned that if you take vitamin A, you will see better at night. And I started doing that and I see so much better at night. I'm like no longer afraid to drive at night in dark places. Like I live around a lot of woods in the Pacific Northwest, right? So I don't want to be there at night if I can't see. So I guess my first question, because I'm so curious about that, is what are some ways that we can improve our this sight? And then let's move to how can we improve this sight?
Of course. So let's start with just the physical, what you're eating. All day long, I tell my patients green is good. Think of green is good. Kale, spinach, collard greens, turnip greens, anything that's dark green, your eyes love it. It prevents some of the major diseases that people get, especially as they get older. And green is good for your whole body because of the chlorophyll and all the antioxidants in it. That just helps all of your body. And anything that happens in the eyes started in the body. The eyes are kind of like the end point for everything. So if you keep your body healthy, your eyes are going to stay healthier. So as far as just taking care of your eyes on a functional um, level, so many people are on screens. And what happens is your vision gets locked in at the screen distance. So we have a lens in our eyes that focus kind of like a zoom lens in a camera or a phone. And when you look far away, your lens relaxes. And when you look up close, your lens muscles tighten to put more power and the lens gets thicker, almost like a magnifier. So then we can see up close. But what happens when you're looking at a computer 19.5 to 20 inches away all day long? It gets hooked right there at that distance. It's almost like doing a push-up halfway. Think about if you had to hold a push-up halfway up all day long with your arms, how tired your shoulders and everything would be. Well, your eye muscles also get very tired. In fact, sometimes they get so locked in that when you go to drive home at night, it's blurry and you're thinking to yourself, why is it blurry far away? Well, it's because the muscles, even though they've relaxed a little bit further than the 20 inches, they're not relaxing all the way out to 20 feet. They might be relaxing to 16, even though you're looking at 20. So everything past 16 is going to be blurry. So what's important is the 15 rule. Every 15 minutes, look away from your computer, find something out a window or far away to relax and look at and breathe for 15 seconds and focus on something far away. That unlocks that system. It's just like if you're doing the push-up. Oh, I can let go for a minute. You're so relieved. Well, this makes a big difference. And people get so intense on their work that they don't stop to do that.
So, taking breaks from screen time is important for 15 seconds to look at something in the distance.
Yes.
Because I find that I can see up close. Like, even if I take my contacts out, right? I can see up close very well, but I cannot see far away like, at all. Like, I mean, further than a few feet, everything's blurry. So, is there a way to, is this the way to sort of sharpen that focus, or is it impossible?
So that does help because when you're looking at close too long, people tend to go nearsighted very quickly, which you're probably nearsighted, which means you can see up close but not far away. So when you take off your contacts, you have all this magnification. You can probably see really close. um, but the more you look at screens, the higher it can go. So there's a lot of people who start out wearing glasses like when they're 9, and then they get stronger glasses every year. So by the time they're 20, they have pretty thick glasses or they need a high prescription. Well, if they were looking at screens all day, or in the past, it was kids who read books all the time. But now so many people on screens that you go nearsighted very quickly and you're putting stress on the system. So there are actually vision exercises that you can do to improve your vision at distance. There's a, a lot of them. I had a therapy center in the past, and I would teach people how to get out of their glasses and contact lenses.
So this is extraordinary information to me because I always thought I started wearing glasses at 5. And I was a early reader. So I started reading at 3 and then I would not stop reading. Like I was reading everything. It was like a whole new world, right? And so by 5, I needed glasses and I was only supposed to wear them for reading. But I happened to, if you don't know about this, I actually lived in an orphanage for a while and was run by nuns. And these nuns insisted that I wear them all the time, which basically destroyed my vision. So I'm so excited to hear that there are things that I could do. Like my vision has been improving though as I get older, which is a strange miracle to me. But I'm curious to find all the ways that I can improve my eyesight because why wouldn't you want to? It would be incredible. Like I never thought it was possible. And this is interesting because what we believe is possible, you're right, is so critical to what we'll achieve and what we're capable of, right?
Mhm.
And so I never thought it was possible to not need my glasses until I spoke to you.
Yes.
And it's an amazing thing that happens when someone teaches us or shows us that what we once thought was impossible is possible.
Yes.
So before we move on, because that leads me to my next question about this kind of sight. And if you don't know what I'm doing, why, like you're like, why is she pointing at her forehead? I'm talking about your third eye, which rests right here, your pineal gland. And sometimes you have to close these two eyes and look with this eye. And it will teach you way, way more. So when we're talking about vision, I'm talking about your third eye. And we're going to dive into that. But before we do, I am so curious to know, is there a simple, quick, one little exercise that you could teach us all before for improving these eyes?
Yes. And for improving function, for improving getting your goals with more ease, and just feeling better overall. Now, this is something at first it takes a little practice, but if you keep practicing it day by day, it'll integrate into your life, into your world, and you just automatically do it. Like I've already been doing it for years and years, so I automatically do this. I don't
Mm.
have to think about it. But the important thing with vision is using your central and your peripheral vision together.
Mm.
So with our central vision, we focus, we see what we want. And if I think of a goal in the future, I think of looking at a mountain, the top of that mountain, there's my goal. That's what I'm going for. So my focus helps me identify it and see this is what I want. My side vision, my peripheral vision is for navigating, for balance, for seeing the road, what's happening, to see all the possibilities. So this is something where you probably don't want to look at your screen while you're doing this, but do you want me to take everyone through this exercise?
I'd love it.
Okay, good. So if you're not on screen, you might want to just stand up, or if you want to stand up, you can. But find something across your room that has a little bit of detail to it, like either a sign or a picture that's a little has some detail. What I want you to do is stand up and look straight at it, make it as clear as you can. Make it so clear that the details are just popping, so clear that the rest of the room just kind of disappears. Now, if you notice while you're doing that, you got this really clear, you're laser focused, but you might notice that your breathing got a little bit shallower. You might even be holding your shoulders tighter or up above your ears, because that takes some work. Now I want you to relax for a minute and do something the opposite. So now I want you to keep looking at whatever you were looking at earlier, but just relax the focus and notice as much of the room as you can. So you're keeping your head in the same place, but notice as much of the room as you can. Notice above you, below you, in front of you, beside you, behind you, as much as you can see of the room all at once. If you're having trouble seeing it, or part of, let's say, the left side's turning off, just take your hands and kind of move them beside your eyes so you can notice things around you. And as you do that, you may notice that your breathing gets deeper. Your shoulders are relaxing, they're lowering, and you can see a lot more than you did before. You can see it all at once. This opens you up. It helps with balance. Your peripheral or side vision is kind of like tent pegs, where it kind of holds the tent up. That holds you up as you're walking around. Now we're going to combine them. So go back to looking at the item across the room that you were looking at, and go in laser focus again. Make it as clear as you can. So clear that the rest of the room disappears. Now it's super clear. Now, while you're keeping it super clear, I want you to open up your vision and notice as much of the room as you can. So notice as much of the room as you can while you're keeping that object clear. And you'll notice that now you feel balanced. You still have your focus on that object or your goal. In this case, if you're thinking in the imagination, you've got your eye on the goal, but now you have all these different roads and things to get there, because your peripheral vision makes it so you can see the paths to get to different places or different ways to get there. So you're saying, oh, there's my goal. And if I go this way, that'll work. If I go this way, that'll work. Right now, there's a rock in front of me. And if you were just looking with your central vision, you would be like blocked. But since with your peripheral vision, you can see all the different pathways, you have choices, you have more possibilities. You can see things from a different perspective, a different angle, which allows you to get to your goal faster. So go ahead and relax and come on back in. Let me know what was your experience.
Okay, great. Perfect timing. I was headed back. So, outstanding. Like, okay, for me, doing it, I noticed really like quickly after a few moments that my eyes got exhausted. Like the focusing on was like made my eyes feel really tired. They still like I can still feel like they were working, like they worked out. It felt like a workout for my for my eyes, right? And one of the things that I really like that you were saying too was this was an exercise that we were doing with our physical eyes, but you also incorporated vision into it and your inner eye and what you can see and how you can find these new pathways, right? So now that we've talked about how to see externally, I really want to spend the rest of the time talking about how to use this to help us reach our goals. Because right now, it's a really difficult time, especially if you're here in the US. The economy is tightening, it's getting harder, and we are needing more ways to sort of get ahead and more ways to live our best life possible, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's easy to feel overwhelmed or frustrated. And I want to help people today to use their gifts in order to find their way or to create a new reality for themselves that is more abundant. So, how can you help us?
So let's start with the exercise we just did. Mm-hmm. You will notice if you practice this throughout the day, just think of different times you can practice it, that you're noticing more things. So let's say you drive your car the same road every day. And all of a sudden, after practicing this for a while, you notice, I didn't realize that car had, or that house had blue shutters. Why didn't I ever notice that house had blue shutters? Or this house, they always have a dog outside, but I never noticed it. Even though I've gone by 100 times, I've never noticed that, because when you open up the physical, it opens up the spiritual, it opens up the imagination. So our inner vision is really our imagination. So when you're using your imagination, first of all, you want to get a picture of what you want. And some people are more visual than others. So what I tell people is if you need to, write down or verbalize what that picture looks like, even if you can't visualize it in a picture. But the picture is the easiest. But if not, for some people, it's just a feeling, or they have to say it verbally. But get a really clear picture of what it is you want. And then you want to add emotions to it. So you want to add, how would that feel if I was in it right now? What would I see? What would I hear? And then make it really loud, make it really bright, make it feel like you're in it, like feel the feelings. If it's an accomplishment, feel how you're going to feel when that happens. Hear people saying congratulations. Feel your mom hugging you. Oh, I'm so proud of you. All those feelings help it come to life. But then also, as you're feeling that, you open up your inner vision. So you're looking at the scene, but you're noticing around, okay, what things contributed? Oh, all of a sudden, this bridge of incidents starts coming in, creating what you wanted, because the mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is fake, what you manufacture and what's really happening. So you're telling your reticular activating system, which is kind of your subconscious mind, this is true, this is what's happening, and it starts looking for that everywhere. And so all of a sudden you've activated this, and those opportunities, those people, the money, whatever you need starts coming in to make this a reality for you.
Wow. I'm one of those people that don't see, like, I can imagine things, but it's really hard for me to visualize it.
Mhm.
So typically it is verbal inside
Mhm.
my head. It's like words inside my head, right? And I think that then it makes it a little bit harder for me, because I know that when you're looking at this, like you're imagining stuff, you have to really feel it. And
Mhm.
I think the common phrase is feel it real, but it's sometimes hard for people to understand that if they haven't been exposed to this type of work, because it's like, how am I supposed to feel something if I've never experienced it? And so I think part of that is like understanding how it would feel, like what you said, like
Mhm.
people congratulating you, like how would that feel? And then it gets easier when you have had a win. So if you've ever had a win, you've ever got praise for something, then you can recall how that felt, and then you can apply that to what you're the new thing that you're visualizing. My question too is like, also, when we were doing the exercise and you said when you're looking out, so as if you're looking at the picture you were looking at, visualize, like the picture would be a goal.
Mhm.
So for me, I would like to increase my viewers on YouTube. That's my goal. By the way,
Mhm.
subscribe. I know you're watching.
Mhm.
Subscribe too. Thank you. It's free. Thank you. It helps me. Be kind. And also subscribe to Dr. Kimberly's channel as well.
Thank you.
Okay. And follow her on Instagram. So I have this goal. So now I'm looking at this goal. And you said, as I'm focusing on this goal, then I see I need to sort of also try to notice everything around the room. Right. So
Mhm.
for me, I was looking at this big picture I have of a microphone. Um, and and then I have these, sound diffusing panels on either side of it. And then I have like I have shelves and things on the shelves and stuff. And so I was kind of seeing all of that stuff. My eyes
Mhm.
were getting really exhausted, I'll tell you. And so the things that I was seeing would be like the different pathways. And so, how exactly does that work? When we're focusing on this goal and our peripheral vision is starting to open up different pathways for us to take?
Mhm. Yeah, so while you're looking at the goal and you're looking around the room, you're doing your best to see everything all at the same time. You're not just looking over here and then look over here and look in front. You're seeing all of it all at once. So when you do that, even though your eyes are focusing hard, and that's one of the reasons you went nearsighted very quickly, you focus so hard that the rest of the world goes away, but
Mhm.
that is very stressful on the system. So when you relax, so you are kind of fighting relaxing, is my guess.
Mhm.
When you relax, it actually, the work should go away, even though you're doing work for the focus. Some of that work should go away so you can see more um, things, because that opens up your creativity. That opens up the mind to become aware of something new. The mind loves novelty. All of a sudden, you show it something new, and the brain goes, "Ooh, something fun to play with." And it starts going, and then it starts to put it together with the goal, because you just told your mind, this is what we want. And so all of a sudden, there's another piece that you could use that you didn't know you had.
Wow. So then something sort of just appears that it opens up for you, like a new pathway
Mm-hmm.
opens
Or
up for you.
somebody new you calls you, or you connect with them on social media, or you meet them, and all of a sudden they tell you about this new thing you didn't even know anything about. Like, wow, well, that's not the same industry I'm in, but that's a parallel industry, and I could use what they're doing over there at the car wash with what I'm doing over here in my diner. You know,
Mhm.
the ideas start to just flow as you're pulling these things in, because you've already told your mind what you want, and you've done your best to feel it, whether it be verbally or feeling, just a feeling. Some people just, they're very kinesthetic, they just have a feeling, and then,
Mhm.
or you're seeing a picture. So,
Yeah.
the other thing I wanted to say is, um, when that bridge of incidents is being built, once you say what you want and you're keeping open to the possibilities, so you're really just opening up, saying, okay, world, I am ready for the possibilities, bring it to me. You're just open, because so many times we're close, we're so focused that we're not even paying attention, we can't see anything new because we're not focused on anything else. So all of a sudden we're saying, yes, bring it in. Then you look for evidence. So, we walk by faith, not by sight. Sometimes you don't see it, but actively look for evidence. Oh, I know this is starting to happen. I'm having more people subscribe to my channel. Look, 3 more just subscribe today. You tell your brain, hey, here's another piece of evidence that my channel is growing. This is the evidence. There it is. And you look for evidence. Now, sometimes we don't see the evidence, but that's when we go to our faith. We stay with our faith and say, I already know it's coming to me. I already know it's happening. It's already here, and things are just being put in place. The steps are just coming towards me, and keep looking for evidence and just stack up that evidence. And as you stack it up, your mind, your subconscious mind really keeps helping you bring it in more and more, bringing those opportunities, those people, those resources.
So powerful, the subconscious mind. And I
Mhm.
love what you said there about like when as you're there's two pieces here. There's faith and there's evidence, right?
Mhm.
So you look for the evidence, but when you don't see it, you have to keep the faith that
Yeah.
it's already done for you. I always say it's already done. It's done.
Mhm.
That's like I'm like, it's done. Like it's just done. Okay. And then that the hard part though is a lot of times when because we like to see the evidence, right? And when I'm looking at my YouTube analytics and I'm seeing more watch time and I'm seeing more people commenting, I'm like, evidence, right, that it's working, because I've been working at this a long time and
Mhm.
I'm determined to see it grow. It's my baby. So um but there are times where I'm like, oh man, I lost a couple of subscribers, or watch time isn't as high as it was the last couple of weeks, and so the evidence seems to indicate that it's going in the wrong direction, right? And that's where the faith becomes really really important, right? Is to say, you know what, I'm going to stay persistent, I'm going to keep putting in the work, I'm going to keep showing up, and I'm going to keep doing all the things that you need to do to grow, and have the faith that it's already done. It's done. right?
And
And
one of the things you just did just a second ago is when you are collecting that evidence and you see 3 more subscribers, celebrate like it's a huge big deal because your mind goes, "Oh, you like that. Let's give her more of that." And that's really helpful. Um and there was one more thing I was going to say. Oh, yes, consistency. So my background is in behavioral optometry. So I had a therapy center where I help people integrate their vision, brain, and body, and I would customize these programs for people. And then I had therapists, vision therapists, who would do the programs with the patients. And sometimes they'd come to me and go, you know, Johnny, he has not done well for the last 3 sessions. For some reason, it seems like he's getting worse or he's just not going anywhere. And I look to make sure that we're on the right path as far as this program. And if we are, I just tell them, just keep doing it. You're on the right path and just keep doing it. And so he might have had 2 or 3 sessions where he's either going down or just plateauing. And all of a sudden on the 4th session, he catapults. He catapults because the even when things look like they're going down or flowing down, your brain, your mind, you're still learning. You're learning from the ups and you're learning from the downs. The brain is still learning and it's simmering and it's kind of sinking. And then once it sinks, it's ready to grow again. And your situation or your goal, sometimes it needs some time to kind of just sink in because, we go from chaos to order, right? To get order, you have to go into chaos, which means like you learn something new. Think about when you learn something new, you have to think about it, whatever, and then it becomes easy. But then you have the next step and you have to learn something different new. You go into chaos again, back into order. So just have faith, be consistent, don't quit.
don't quit. That's like the motto of my life. And I will tell you, developing persistence is such a superpower. It is such a superpower. Sometimes I like to listen to Napoleon Hill, right? If you don't know who that is, you've definitely got to look him up. There's tons of stuff on YouTube. Think and Grow Rich, right? And sometimes I like to listen to him at night before I go to sleep because it helps me sleep faster. And last night, as a matter of fact, the part that I was listening to was about persistence being a superpower. Now, this is something that I've always said. I learned this through my challenges with fighting the U.S. government as a veteran, and persistence is a superpower. And cultivating that skill of even when things are challenging, recognizing that the challenges are there to help you be better, right? They are. And I think one of the biggest things I learned through and help people with in my coaching when I'm coaching with people, whether it's mindset coaching, which is my favorite. I guess I don't know if I could say that. I also love podcast coaching too, but having that mindset piece is really crucial, and having that persistence as part of that, because when we're facing challenges or when we think we're failing, we aren't,
Mhm.
right? Um, there's lessons in there. So I like to tell my kids and I like to tell my clients the same thing. There's no losses, there's only lessons. Though it will suck, and I'm not going to say it won't, and it
Mhm.
won't feel bad in the moment. But I give myself a day to mourn and
Mhm.
to accept that I failed,
Mhm.
and then to take a day to look at what the lesson is. I get in my journal and I write it down, and then I start thinking about and visualizing how can I come back from this, right? And that's part of the persistence, is like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue pressing on until I reach that. And it's funny that my friends often tell me all the time too, with the podcasting and everything. They're like, you do it And Brian Rose, who was my mentor for many years, same thing, podcasting for 8 years, and then finally it takes off. And that's when I think of when you say the catapult,
Mhm.
right? You just get catapulted. So one thing takes off, and then there you go. You're off to the races. And that's with anything. I'm saying podcasting because we're on a podcast now, and I love podcasting. But I also do pinup, same thing with that. Private coaching is something else that I do, right? And whatever you do, or anyone does who's listening or watching this podcast, whatever you're doing, right? It's if you stay with it and you're flexible enough to pivot when you see that there are mistakes or failures or whatever happens, you learn the lesson and you keep moving forward. You can basically achieve anything you want. You can make the impossible possible for you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, okay. I love this. So how can we really, if we're stuck and we find ourselves stuck and we find ourselves lost, and we're trying to use these tools that you've given us today to help us to navigate our way out, what are a couple of things that we can do to try to make it a little easier for ourselves?
That is a really wide open question. So let me think what would be the best thing. First of all, I think if you're really stuck, as in even going into depression, find support, someone around you that you can talk to. Because a second person looking from an outside perspective can shed new light on a situation that seems hopeless or stuck. So that's the first thing I would say. And then if it's something in business, same thing. Find a mentor. Find someone. If you're stuck in business, there's someone that has been there or knows what you're struggling with, and they can help you with that. So I know you might have been asking about the vision part, but a lot of times when you're stuck, I think community is maybe one of the most important things.
I would agree with that, because sometimes we can't see our own way out,
Mhm.
right? And we're stuck in a loop. And so having a support system is really going to be important. I mean, sometimes telling people what you're trying to do or what you want to do can provide resistance, and they can sort of just say, I always think of Jay-Z, the famous rapper, and he's like, when he was a kid, he would be rapping, and his uncle told him, "You can't rap," or something like that. The story goes, and if he would have listened to that, he would not be who he is, right? But I'm sure that his uncle loved him and was well-meaning and well-intentioned in trying to protect him. So people project, is my point. And so I think sometimes the community you need is not necessarily the community of family and friends. Because I have found not most of my friends don't watch my podcast. They love that I do it, right? But they don't watch it. The people who watch my podcast don't know me. Okay. All right. So sometimes it's good to find a community of like-minded people outside of your normal support system, is the point I'm trying to make. And also a coach. I will die on this hill. Like a coach and a mentor, if you can. If you can find them for free, great. If you can't, however you got to come up with that cash, come up with it. And then even if you can do it, I once had a mentor. I spent some money on a mentor for a private 5-day, it was 5 days, one-on-one intensive. Because, Tony Robbins always says you have to be intense. It has to be, if it's going to change you, it needs to be intense. Right. So, and it was worth it. It was worth every penny, because it changed me in those 5 days fundamentally, and my mindset. And it was a very rapid mindset shift. So even if you can do it one session, or you got to do a free coaching discovery call session, however you got to get that coaching, get a coach. And if you can find a mentor or two, even that will make you move so much faster than trying to do it on your own. I can't state enough. And there's so many coaches. There's a coach for everything anymore. Right.
I
So,
agree. That's totally true. And so many times people go the traditional route and they're like, I'm going to go to a counselor, or I'm going to do this, and then you wonder why people are in counseling for years. Where
mhm,
I'm into the intense, let's get it done. Like I do 1 day intensives, and we clear a lot of stuff and open up the next step in 1 day. And
mhm.
they're like, man, I've been counseling for years. I'm like, yeah, well, there's other ways to do these things.
It's true. And yeah, it's true. And sometimes, like, I usually do when I'm coaching, I'll do like 2 to 3 months, right? We'll meet twice a week or twice a month for three
Mhm,
months, right?
mhm,
And that's it, right? And then you can continue, you're free to go, but that's basically what it is. Give me 90 days to help you on whatever journey you're going on, right? And I think that it's really important to have that kind of help and someone you can talk to and someone who's encouraging you and reminding you of who you are and what you're capable of, but also having a system. This is the other thing. Having a system, like your incredible life creator methodology,
yeah.
right? Having a system that is easily repeatable, that you can utilize, right? And you have a coach holding your hand through that system, that will give you rapid results if you do the work. And ultimately it's up to you, because having coached thousands of people with London Real Academy, it taught me a lot of things. But one of the things that I have realized is that some people are not coachable because they don't allow themselves to be, right? Get out of your own way.
Mhm.
You have to be willing to get out of your own way and be a novice and be a beginner and just build from scratch sometimes.
I agree. I think the other key thing is you need to find a mentor or coach that is your match.
Mhm.
So I work with people who they want to get in, get the result, and get out. They're busy. They don't want to have, some people want to have coaching every week for an hour. And I've done that. I like that too.
Mhm.
And some people just want to get in, handle what's going on, and get out. So
Mhm.
you have to find that coach that works for you with your personality type.
Absolutely. Because when I'm doing coaching, I can do tough love. Okay, because you're a coach, you have to be able to do that. But I am more encouraging and that kind of thing. So if that's not for you, if you want someone who's just going to rip you to shreds and just tell you everything terrible about yourself to motivate you to keep going, I'm not the girl. I'm not
Mm,
the girl for you. Right. So
right.
you have to know like what you want. I actually work, I think, really well with men. Men seem to do really well with my nurturing style of coaching, more than women do. Some women, but more, I find that the women typically want someone who listens, right? Who listens a lot and then just sort of drops in pearls of
Mhm.
guidance along the way, which I like to do as well. So it's different. You have, and also personality types. So it's like a therapist, right? You go to a bad therapist. I've seen people be like, I'll never go to therapy because they had an experience with a therapist that wasn't a fit. And I always say, listen, just I like therapy personally,
Mhm.
but I have been through several therapists, and I go through them because if it's not an alignment, if it's not a fit, then there's nothing wrong with me saying this doesn't fit and I need to find someone new.
Yes.
Same with coaching. Like, don't give up if you get a coach and you paid for a couple of sessions and you find that it's not a fit, and don't go, oh, coaching sucks, I'm not going to get a coach. Just keep looking. There's one out there, I promise you, for you that will work amazingly for what you need.
I agree.
Mhm. Mhm. So, what are some things? What is one thing that you could teach us from your coaching that might help us on our journey to achieve our goals?
I think one important thing is to actually set a date to your goals, which people have heard this
Mm.
before, but it's key. A goal without a date will never happen. Someday never comes. Just like people say, someday I'll go to Disney World. Someday I'm going to take my family here. But they don't put it on their calendar. And if you don't put it on your calendar, guess what? Your family's not going to Disney World. Your kids are going to be 30 and they're going to be like, Dad, you never took us to Disney World. So it's simple, but it's important. You've got to set a date. And what happens if you get to the date and you didn't make your goal? That's okay. Just set another date, but you got to have a date.
Wow, I never thought of it like that. Like, I know because Napoleon Hill says that as well, right? Like, all the great leaders say that you have to put a deadline. Deadlines are important, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I never thought of it that way because I think that if you work really hard, right, and you don't meet your deadline, I think people tend to beat themselves up, right, and tell themselves really negative things about themselves, like, oh, I'm such a loser. I never, they start going down this spiral. They start crashing out basically about the fact that they didn't meet the deadline, instead of going, okay, let me regroup. I did work really hard. I didn't make it, and I'm sad about that because it's my morning day. But also I can set a new date.
Mm-hmm. You can set a new date. You don't need to beat yourself up. All right, so
Yeah.
that day came and gone. Look at how much you accomplished that you wouldn't have probably accomplished if you didn't set a date.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. I mean, I think it's okay. Like, I'm not trying to, I know there's like this whole war on positivity. And it's like, don't be toxic positive. And I get what people are trying to say with that. You do need to feel your feelings, but being positive isn't about not feeling your feelings. I think people get that wrong all the time. It's not about just being happy and forcing yourself to be happy and never acknowledging things hurt or are bad or went wrong or anything like that, but it's more about being able to look at it from this perspective. Like, again, mindset, it's critical. Looking at it from the perspective that you said, right? Oh, I didn't make the date, but look how much work I did get done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of myself for how much I did do.
Yes.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And I want more and more people to like adopt that mindset of, not browbeating yourself or spiraling out or crashing out because, you are not perfect. It's okay. I think it's not about the destination, right? We get caught up in the destination, but it really is about the journey and about what you're doing along the way. What do you think about that?
I so agree. For me, I love learning, and um, it's the process that I enjoy. We all have goals and we want to get to that goal, but to me, I enjoy the process of getting to the goal so much, which adds a lot more joy to your life. Because if you're just looking for the accomplishments, accomplishments make us happy temporarily. Okay, I got this award. All right, now what? Oh, you're happy for a day. But the feeling that you get from accomplishing steps day by day and enjoying the process of learning something new or doing something or building something is so fulfilling.
I agree. I agree. I have endless joy from all my millions of little projects. So, but there was a time when I would get overwhelmed and I would say, before I understood how, because I have ADHD, right? And I can be hyper internally, as it is with women often. And before I understood this, I could really sort of spiral out in my head about not getting things done and not, the organization of things. And I have since learned that shifting that mindset is so important, right? And to understanding that, I have joy from all these little projects I do and seeing them get completed, even if it takes longer than I thought it was going to take. Yeah. Mindset is everything.
Yes, yes, it really is.
So let's talk about your podcast.
Um, s- sure. So my podcast is, and by the way, I need to go in a minute just to let you know.
Okay, we're wrapping up here in just
Yeah.
a minute.
Okay. So my podcast is Incredible Life Creator, and I interview people from different walks of life just to find out what gives them happiness and fulfillment, how they're putting their gifts out into the world, and ideas for people to get curious about what they can do next. Is their next big move? What's going to excite them and make their life even?
Outstanding. Oh, you froze up there for a second. So, oh, it looks like you're back. Okay, great. We're live, so we just roll with it when these things happen. But you should definitely go check out Incredible Life Creator anywhere you listen to podcasts and subscribe to her YouTube channel as well. It's hard out here. Okay, help us out. And I hope that everyone has gotten some great wisdom from you today. I've certainly loved having you on the podcast again. I think this is your third time, and it's been really wonderful to see you and connect with you. And thank you again for making time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
It's-
Everybody have a great day.
Well, I'm going to put you in the green room. I know you have to go. So if you have to go, I'll catch up with you later when I send you the links for this. And then I'm going to wrap up the show. And if you have time, I'll see you again and say a proper goodbye. If not, I'll totally understand.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks again for being a guest. See you
Yeah.
soon.
Okay.
Well, isn't she wonderful? I think she's just lovely. And, she and I go really far back. When I was learning how to podcast at London Real Academy, we were in the same group. And so we started our podcast together, essentially. And it's been amazing to watch her journey and for her to see mine and for us to be able to collaborate like this is such a gift. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. If you have made it this far in the episode, then you are one of my hotties, babe. So make sure you subscribe. Like this episode, share it with someone who needs this information, and make sure you subscribe because I have a lot of viewers who are not subscribing, and it would make me so appreciative and grateful for you to just help me out by doing these little things. They're free. They don't cost you anything, but they help me immensely because you know how this algorithm is, honey. Okay. So, do you like pretty pictures? Because I know a lot of my audience is men. Do you like pretty pictures? Do you like pinup, classy, sexy images? Well, then you should go over to my Instagram at Creativity. I appear in both of these. This is my last cover. I am in 10 magazines now, about to be 11. And you can find, hold on, honey, let me get you my Instagram so you can see it. You can follow me on all of these places right here. Okay, I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I am on there. I'm not big on there. I don't really put in a lot of effort into it, to be honest. But I'm doing better on Instagram because I love Instagram. I can't help it. So you can follow me there on these places. If you go to the first one at Creativity, there you will find links to my pinup magazines for purchase. I have a link below in the description box as well. If you want to learn how to do a podcast fast and easy like this one that I do, I have a link below. If you want some coaching for that, you should probably DM me on Hot Topics Live podcast. So if you want to coach, you can DM me there. If you want mindset coaching, you can DM me there. Just slide into the DMs. I check them probably a couple of times a month. So just be patient with me and I'll get back to you and we can see if we're a fit and we can go from there. I also am thinking about doing this thing called body doubling. So if you have ADHD like me, maybe you have a hard time getting things accomplished because it's just more productive for you to have someone with you. So I do virtual body doubling. And if you're interested in something like that, you can drop a comment, or you can always drop comments about any of this. You want to coach with me, you want to whatever you want to see. Um, you want me to send you the links to my link tree, which has my whole collection of pinup. So you want to see that stuff. You can always drop a comment, or you can DM on Hot Topics Live podcast. Okay. And like I said, I check that only a couple of times a month. So be patient with me and I will get back to you. But you have to say, like, you can't just say weird stuff. You have to tell me what, like, it is. Like, hey, I'm interested in coaching with you. Hey, I'm interested in your body doubling, so that I can be more productive. But I'm heavy screening that. So I'm not going to take everybody, just so you know. Like, I have to not feel weird. Okay. It's done on Zoom. I just am there basically facilitating, like working with you. I'm working, you're working. We're just body doubling together. And then I will maybe put music, maybe we'll take breaks, we'll take a stretch. It's just like a whole little facilitation that I do. So if you're interested in that, male or female, if you're a male and you're interested in my style of coaching, that's very appreciative and nurturing and loving, but also can kick your butt, then you should also do that. Okay, so now we have reached the point of the show where I do something very special for you. So if you are a regular viewer, if you're one of my hotties crew, you know what this is. But if you're new here and you've made it this far, then this is where we're going to play a little card game. I don't know if it's a card game, but I'm going to shuffle up these cards. It is called the Soul Truth Self-Awareness Card Deck. This is what it looks like. It's by Brianne Hovey. So shout out to Brianne Hovey. These are daily questions that will transform your life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle them because I don't like to pick things for people. I like it to be random. So what I'm doing is I'm shuffling up these cards and you are going to breathe. Close your eyes if you like. Take a deep breath, a couple of breaths, and I want you to center yourself, right? You can put your hand on your heart. Sometimes I like to do that. And you center yourself. And I'm going to shuffle these cards up and one is going to fly out. And that is going to be a message. Now, I don't know what you believe in. Higher self, source, spirit, universe, God, any sort of like religion type of thing. I'm open to all of it, right? Hi, Boo. Thanks for tuning in. That's my girl, Melanie. I was just shading all of my friends too. And now here's one of them. Anyway, so now we're going to pick the card and you're going to receive this message. And it's a message to help you on your journey, to help guide you in some way. So take what resonates, leave the rest, and help it guide you. And it says, your card is, how does my body want to move today? When we move, we change our state and raise our vibration. This new elevated state becomes a channel for more energy. Are you moving your body daily? Are you passionate about it? Is it time to try something new? Today's soul action, how does your body want to move today? Listen and joyfully do. I think it's so important that we move, dance, shake, like walk, work out, swim, like whatever your thing is, get out there and do it. Okay. Your soul wants you to move. So you should move. And I will be doing the same. So I hope this helped you on your journey. I hope that you have an absolutely beautiful day. Sorry, Boo. but it is what it is. So I hope you see how that works. Don't be shy. If you have a comment, you see how I put that up on the screen? That could be you. We could have a whole conversation. You could have asked questions to my guests, all of that. So don't be so shy. Okay. Remember to like, share, follow on Instagram, and here, subscribe. And I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I have a new dating episode coming up So if you like the Dating After Divorce series that I've been doing, I have one coming called Brutally Honest Dating Advice. Okay. Yeah, I think you're going to like that for both male and females. So, ooh, brace yourselves, honey, because I'm going in. And that one's coming, I think, next week. So set your notifications so you know when I come live. And we'll meet up here again and we'll just hang out like always. So I love you guys. I appreciate you for watching. Watch from the beginning, stay till the end, help your girl out. Like, share. Don't forget to watch my shorts, you guys. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.